everybody. Time to Tin Chat, coming to you pre-recorded from beautiful Parkview Field. We're out in center field today for this edition. As always, he's Mike Maahs, radio voice of the TinCaps. I am Justin Prince, as always, last time I checked at least. Mike, it's been a fun week since we got to talk to you last. Obviously, the TinCaps, finished up their series up in Lansing. Now they're back home here at Parkview Field. Last week in Lansing, though, fun week for these boys. They went 5-1, played really well, and also saw a Player of the Week honor come to one of the TinCaps.
Yeah, it was a good week on the road for the TinCaps, taking 5 out of 6. And the player you're referring to is Joshua Mears, who hit 5 home runs. Might have hit more had he not been hit by a pitch in the Sunday finale and had to leave the game in the top of the first inning. But the team put things together, both with the offense and with the pitching and the defense. And that 5-1 road trip's one of the best the TinCaps have had in a long time. It put them in a position where they came back home to start a key series with the first place Dayton Dragons, trailing by only 1 game. We'll talk more about what's transpired thus far a little bit later. But the team is starting to gel. They're starting to feel more comfortable with each other. And again, when we talked last week, they had just come off a 6-game homestand where they took 4 out of 6 from South Bend, and then followed it up with that 5 out of 6 at Lansing. So you put those two together, that's 9 wins out of 12 games. That's a nifty 750 winning percentage. And so things are looking good. Unfortunately, the Dayton series didn't start out as well as they would have liked because the bats were commandeered and put in a witness protection program.
Yeah, they went cold there to start the series. They like you said, they started out the Lansing series so well, went 5-1, scored a lot of runs, and then they come back, put up 4 hits over the first 2 games, and don't even score a run there in those first 2 games here in a pivotal series against Dayton.
They did, believe it or not, in the Tuesday night opener, walked 8 times.
Yeah, they were on base a lot.
And between the first 2 games, they were combined 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and you just can't win when you can't drive in runs. And they were looking for a new GPS prior to last night. But that's going to happen in a 132-game season. There are going to be some games where the offense just is out of sync, and you got to try to find other ways to win. Well, the remedy for finding a way to win came last night in the person of a Major League All-Star pitcher.
Yeah, that's certainly right. 2018 Cy Young winner Blake Snell towing the rubber in a first for Fort Wayne TinCaps history here at Parkview Field. The first Major League rehab assignment here at home for the TinCaps. Obviously, we've seen a few on the road, but this is the first one that fans here at the home ballpark finally got to see Mike, and boy, were they treated to a good one. 4 innings pitched from Blake, 4 punch-outs, and really he looked the part of a former Cy Young winner.
We could tell right from literally the first pitch he threw, because he threw, I think the first 5 or 6 pitches he threw were nothing but fastballs ranging between 93 and 96. And he got himself into a little trouble last night in the first couple of innings. A rough start for Jared Dale at shortstop, committed an error in each of the first 2 innings. And Blake had situations where he had 2 on with 1 out, and yet he induced a double play in 1 inning. He got a strikeout to help get out of a jam in the other inning, and he showed us why he is an all-star pitcher. And I'm hoping that this pitching staff took notice of how he pitched last night and can try to start applying some of the tactics that he uses to their pitching as well. But you're right, 4 scoreless innings, and then the bats finally came alive, and the final result was a 4-0 shutout victory.
Yeah, and speaking of Mr. Snell's wonderful start here at Parkview Field, we caught up with TinCaps manager Brian Esposito after the game just about the start itself and what he hopes his club can take away from Snell's start.
Yeah, it was good to see him healthy and get out there. That's something that you always want to see out of a rehab start. You want to see the guy obviously get through start to finish with no health concerns. Everything was great. Body responded the way he wanted it to. Very effective with his pitches. The other team came out. They were aggressive like young hitters are going to do. And he was able to combat that. You know, he attacked his own. There were some balls that were put in play. He gave up some hits, but was able to, land some off speed in the back end of his outing, which was a really good sign. So all in all, he came out healthy. It was a great performance.
What can seeing a major leaguer and a former Cy Young winner, and go about his business the way he did today do for them?
Yeah, I mean, just how he came to the ballpark yesterday and prepared just to do his work, his throwing program, and take off. And then, how he showed up today, and he started about 5 o'clock, and he was, getting his body right, and going through his routine of his start day. Guys were able to see that. They were able to see how he performed. I think his poise on the mound, even giving up a few hits and maybe not getting some calls that he wanted to get. I think just the poise and be able to move on to the next pitch was something that I think our guys should have taken away from this. Something that we'll talk about as a group and just ask some questions about it and see what they learn.
All right, so again, to recap it for you, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 punch-outs, 1 hit batter, but no runs allowed by Blake Snell yesterday, recovering from a left abductor strain, still trying to work his way back into the Padres rotation. He is expected to be back in May, so hopefully we can see him at Petco Park and say, we saw him when this year, but good to see him. Good for the fans, good for the team, good experience. And Mike, looking ahead now for the team, obviously a big few days left here with the Dayton Dragons at home, trying to salvage the rest of this series.
Yeah, Game 4 is tonight, and you'll be revealing who won when we get started with the locker room. And then a pair of 105 starts tomorrow and Sunday, the traditional off-day Monday, and then the first of what will be 2 12-game and 13-day road trips. Yeah. And they will travel up to Appleton, Wisconsin, your neck of the woods, and they'll take on the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, who, by the way, are off to a good start. They are 12-6 and in second place in the West, trailing only Quad Cities. And 6 games with the Timber Rattlers, followed by the off day, and then back here to the Hoosier State to go over to Fort Wayne Field in South Bend and have another series with the South Bend Cubs. And you know that South Bend is going to be looking for revenge after losing 4 out of 6 here 2 weeks ago. So, but it's a key road trip, and again, it's the extended road trip. It happens twice this year, just as it will happen twice where we have the extended homestands, where you play 12 games in a 13-day stretch in, either at home or on the road. But believe it or not, folks, this is an exciting time.
It is.
The TinCaps, 2 games behind Dayton in the race for first place in the East Division.
Still early.
They're the only 2 teams in the East that have winning records.
Yep.
So this team is starting to produce, and they are an exciting team right from the first pitch to the final pitch. So we really encourage you not only coming to the Taj Mahal of minor league baseball and see the great between innings entertainment and see this team develop. So a lot of exciting, positive things happening here at the intersection of Ewing Street and Jefferson Boulevard.
Yep. And obviously, like Mike said earlier, you can catch the 2 final games of the homestand, at least for the next couple of weeks here, Saturday and Sunday, both 105 first pitches. Make sure you get out onto the ballpark. Hopefully the weather stays beautiful as it is right now. For now, though, that's going to do it for this edition of TinChattin. As always, he is Michael Jeffrey Maahs. I am Justin Thomas Prince. Mike and I will be back same time, same place next week with another edition of TinChat. We'll be right back after this.